Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name's Ashley and this is the third video of my three-part series of getting plastic surgery in Seoul, South Korea. And a lot of you have been asking questions, so I'm going to be answering them in this Q&A video. So we're just going to get right to it because there's kind of a lot to go over, so let's do it. Alright, so we're going to start with my eyes. I actually got ptosis correction, which is pretty much getting these sutures or pins put 3 times in my eye to pull the skin back, make my eyes even, create a fold, and really open my eyes. This is actually reversible, which is super cool. How was the healing? The healing process for the eyes was really quick and easy. Pretty much there's just some swelling and a tiny bit of bruising, but that all pretty much goes away within a week or two. By 2 weeks you look pretty normal. You can wear makeup, wear your contacts again, so that's a really simple, quick procedure. You will have some swelling on the top of your eye, but that really goes away after a month or two. And this is a close-up of my eyes. Sorry, I have big eyelash extensions. I just got them done. How they open, very even. So yeah. And for the actual surgery, I was awake, but it's not scary at all, like you're awake for a surgery. No, it's not like that. You're kind of falling into a dreamlike state, so you really don't know what's going on, but you need to be awake because they're going to be saying open and close your eyes, and I guess you're doing that, but you have no idea. I mean, I don't remember anything, but I guess I was awake for an hour. It's a super quick procedure, so this specific surgery costs about, I think, 1 million won, which is 1,000 USD, but I think it definitely varies per clinic or, per person. I'm not really sure. That's just how much mine was specifically. And guys, I just want to say one thing. My eye doctor is absolutely amazing at View. When I came back home, I think I got the most compliments and questions flooding me with my eyes. Everyone has told me kind of horror stories that they've heard, and they're doing so much research because they want a good doctor. And oh my gosh, like some people told me that their eyes are one of them's droopy, they change over time, or the scariest one is a girl told me that she can't even close one of her eyes because they took too much skin because she did double eyelid surgery where they actually do an incision and cut off the skin, so she can't really close one of her eyes. And I'm just like, so I'm very grateful for my surgeon. So definitely if you're in Korea, check. Next up we have my nose. My nose doctor was Lee Jin Ho, and guys, he is amazing. So pretty much what I got done to my nose is I got the bones on the side of my bridge shaved down because it was very wide and I wanted to make it a little thinner. I got a Gore-Tex implant put into my bridge to get the height that I wanted, and I got a tip plasty, which is basically getting cartilage from behind your ear and putting it in the tip. But I had such a weak nose tip that they actually had to take cartilage from both of my ears and put it in there. So I thought that was kind of interesting. And you do get stitches behind your ears and they have to take them out eventually, and I think that was the scariest part. It doesn't really hurt at all, it's just the fear. I mean, woo. Okay, anyway, but not bad at all. And lastly, I got an alar reduction, which is putting your nostrils in a little more. And I got that because every time I smiled, my nose would just turn into a flat pancake, and it was a big insecurity of mine, so I really wanted to put that in. So when I smile, they don't really move that much, which is great. So those are the things that I got done to my nose. As for the healing process, we are at 4 months right now. So this is the 4-month mark for my nose. Give you a little... And as you can see, that is not the same nose that it was when I got my cast off. Because when I got my cast off, I had a tremendous amount of swelling. Keep in mind, I had PDO threads in my nose, so they had to take that out before they even started surgery. So my nose is already traumatized from that. They already had swelling there before they even started it. So when I got the cast off, I mean, it was just huge. I felt like it was a beak. It was, my nose was like touching from my forehead to the tip, and it was just, I was mortified. And I was freaking out, so it's okay. She went down. But yeah, the healing process starts from here, the top of your nose, and it just moves down like gravity, you know? So this will drop and it'll get skinnier. The swelling will subside, and after 3 months, you'll really see the shape. As for the tip, it does get a lot skinnier, and it was so high up. It was like a perfect triangle mountain, and it really does melt into your face quite nicely. At 3 months, you really see kind of like the height and how it melts into your face, and I would give it that amount of time. The tip usually takes a year to fully heal, so I'm still waiting to see the final result, but as of right now, I'm loving it. One thing to keep in mind is that I wish I took everyone else's advice. They all told me that when I got my cast off, oh, it looked incredible, it looked amazing, because they all know what it's going to look like. As for the person, you don't really know, you just see what you see, and you freak out a bit. If you do, it's normal. I did. I went into surgery without any fear, and I think the healing process was actually the part that I freaked out the most. But you have nothing to fear. So you get the stitches out, the gauze, everything after 2 weeks, the cast, and then from then on, it's just a waiting game. Please be patient, because you will get the nose you want eventually with time. So just wait. Your nose will be a little numb after surgery. I mean, that's very normal. And you can't really move your face much after. I have a very animated face, so I couldn't, you can't really scrunch your face, but now after probably 2-3 months, yep, you can scrunch. You go back to normal daily activities. You just have to give it time. So the cost of a rhinoplasty in Korea is much cheaper than the United States. I remember I got a consultation in Beverly Hills, and I got quoted $20,000, and I was like, oh, I don't think so. So in Korea, it ranges from about 5 to 10K depending on what you get, and also it depends on the clinic and just kind of your specific needs. So I got 3 different things done to my nose, the bridge, and I got the implant, the tip plasty, the ALR reduction, and that all totaled to a little more of the expensive side. But keep in mind, there is a cost breakdown for each procedure in its own ways, because everyone's nose is completely different. So I can't even give you like a good ballpark for you, because your nose is completely different from mine, and they may need different things. Like, you may only need a tip plasty, you may only need an ALR reduction, or you may just want the implant. Like, it's also different. So just keep in mind that it's really a big ballpark. You really get a good idea once you go into your consultation and you express what you need, and then you're like, okay, this is the amount it's gonna cost. So definitely just, ask the professionals. All right, next up we have the breast augmentation. I chose Motiva because you kind of get the best of both worlds, the round and teardrop, plus it moves with your body. It's great for people with active lifestyles because it just kind of goes with the flow. As for the size, I initially had a 34A, and then now I am a 34B. And I only know this because we're in the pandemic right now, so I can't really go to Victoria's Secret and get a specific size, but I did order bras off Savage X Fenty, Rihanna's line. I ordered a 34B, and they fit perfectly. And guys, let me tell you how happy I am about my breast augmentation, because clothes actually fit and they actually look good. When I bend down, I'm not having the whole world see my nip slip. It's great. They actually fill out clothes, and I'm very conservative. So I never really show cleavage at all. So I'm really in it for like the fit of clothes, t-shirts and stuff like that. And it's just great. It really gives you a wonderful womanly shape, and I feel like a woman now. So it's great. Boobs are great. Yeah. I got my implants inserted through my underarms. It's because I wasn't getting a huge breast implant, so I kind of thought you would see the scars underneath. since it is just a B, you know, it's not like flopping down more, so it doesn't cover it. So I really wanted to get it through the underarms, and everyone told me that it would just look like an armpit fold. So it's on its way there. So we were 4 months in, and yeah, it looked like a scar before, but now it's definitely turning less purple red, more my skin color. It's turning into a fold of my arm, and they're healing quite nicely. Just make sure to put on, you know, a scar cream after, and it's really easy. But definitely this was the hardest procedure to heal from. Not hard at all, but it was a little more difficult because there was this soreness. It wasn't pain, it was just soreness. They don't give you a strong painkiller in Korea for anything, so it just kind of eases the tension a little bit. The word I can just call it is just very uncomfortable, because you wear a cage-like bra for 2 weeks. It's super tight to keep everything in place and to make sure it's healing in place, and it's very uncomfortable because in the middle of the night you definitely it's hard to get up, and you have to really take a breath, and you know, that was kind of the most difficult part. As soon as they give you the kind of sports bra, you know, comfortable one that you're going to be wearing for literally like the next year, life gets so much better. But definitely the first week is a little difficult, especially because you can't really use any of your chest muscle. And when I say you can't use any, and you use your chest muscle for so much stuff. Opening a car door, pushing it, opening a door. You can't grab anything past here, because I got my implants through my underarm, so I couldn't lift my arms. You can't really lift yourself up, like, it's kind of hard. So it would be really nice if you had someone there. I didn't have anyone, but I was like Miss Independent there, but it's not bad at all. Getting the stitches removed from your underarms, little scary, not bad at all. There's no pain. So yeah. So the breast augmentation costs between, I would say, $3,500 to $10K, depending on the size of the implant, what type of implant. You know, it really depends on the person. Again, I just gave you a ballpark, but you really don't know until you go meet your doctor and kind of discuss what you want. Because if you saw my previous vlogs, there's so much that goes into choosing what kind of breasts you want. I mean, the profile on the side, the top, how you want it to like look. I mean, you kind of design the whole thing, which is pretty cool, but you know, definitely depends on the person. So I chose View because I really didn't want to go for the hype of certain clinics. I really wanted to go for the doctor's work, and View just really had what I was looking for in a nose surgeon and a doctor do the breast augmentation. I was kind of flipping through all the surgeries that they've done before, and I really just loved how everything turned out. So make sure to do your research. And I know it could be very daunting because there's just hundreds of clinics all around Gangnam and Korea, all over the world. Like it's hard to choose a specific doctor, but Seoul Cosmetic Surgery made everything super easy for me. I mean, the last thing you want to think of is transportation, who's going to take care of me, get me from point A to point B, all my appointments, get my medicine. That's the last thing you want to think of. You know, you just want to concentrate on relaxing and healing. And they kind of took all that stress away from me, because when I was searching for doctors initially, Seoul Cosmetic Surgery would be like, okay, what are you looking for? What do you need? And then they will narrow it down to the specific doctor and the clinics that you should check into and do more research on, and then you can make your final decision. They also take care of all your transportation, picking up your medicine, setting up your appointments, and you never go to an appointment alone. So my translator was always there waiting for me, meeting me in the lobby with the Seoul Cosmetic Surgery team to bring me up. It was so nice. Like, they picked me up from my Airbnb or hotel, and they took me straight to all my appointments. Before I left, they're like, oh, here's your next appointment, here's a medicine you have to take. And it's just so much easier. They even took me grocery shopping, and when I said I wanted a puppy, they literally did the research for me, and they took me to the most reputable pet store in Korea, and I got a puppy. So, I mean, these are real people. They really want to take care of you, and I really wouldn't trust any other tourism agency other than Seoul Cosmetic Surgery, because Mona and Dean they're probably the most wonderful people. I mean, I had many breakdowns, obviously, from my surgeries, and I would just talk to them and be like, and they would just ease my pain. They'd be on the phone with me for hours if I was freaking out. I even talked to them today if I have any questions, and to be honest, they're my good friends now. So you really want those people on your team when you're going through something is life-changing as plastic surgery. The only thing that I would change with my experiences, I wish I was a little more well prepared for the healing process after. For example, the rhinoplasty in my eyes. I had no idea that you couldn't wear glasses or contacts for 2 weeks. You can't wear glasses for way longer, but you can't wear contacts for 2 weeks. So I was essentially very blind and I couldn't see anything. So I was looking at a mirror like this every day. Also, do not look at a mirror every day. Do not. And yeah, just having a lot of comfortable button up clothes. Button up, guys, if you're getting a breast augmentation, because you can't lift your arms, you can't put stuff over your face. I mean, just bring cardigans, you know, a lot of that stuff, zippers, really helpful. I actually had to buy one when I was in Korea because I didn't have any. So how was getting plastic surgery during the pandemic? Honestly, it was kind of a blessing in disguise. I remember Seoul Cosmetic Surgery, Mona, she was asking me, do you actually want to come? At the time, Korea was the number 2 most infected country in the world, and I was like, yeah, I mean, whether I do it now or whether I do it later, there's still going to be a pandemic. So yeah, I hopped on the plane, was very, very careful, actually wore 2 masks, and I hand sanitized every hour on the dot and wiped down all the seats, the table, anything I touched, my phone, and Korea was just on top of it. Temperature checks, hand sanitizer, mask required before you walk into any building. Masks absolutely were worn all times in the clinic by everyone, gloves. There's really nothing that I was too worried about because every time there was someone who tested positive for corona, the country had sent people with this whole Hamzat suit, and sent off little rings on the phone every time and exactly where the person was, so you just kind of avoided it. So nothing closed down in Korea. There's a lot less people outside, of course. Yeah, but everything was running really smoothly. And then when I got home, I didn't have to see anyone. I got to stay at home because of the stay-at-home orders. So it gave me a lot of time to really figure out and accept my face, the new features, learn how to do makeup again. I was watching all the beauty gurus on YouTube, figuring out how to redo everything. So it was a really good time, actually. So I'm kind of appreciative that I did go, also because Seoul Cosmetic Surgery really went above and beyond, so I was comfortable there. It took me grocery shopping, and so I never really had to leave the comfort of my own apartment. Yeah, so other than the gaining the COVID-19 from eating my life away every day, pandemic was kind of good timing for me. Surgery. I got plastic surgery because for as long as I remember, it started with my nose. It was my biggest insecurity. Starting 10 years old, I grew up in a very westernized community, and I was probably the only Asian girl amongst, all my white girlfriends, and they just had such beautiful noses, and I didn't have it. So it's kind of just how I surrounded myself and how I grew up, but that's why it was my biggest insecurity. And I also, just as I grew up, contour changed my life, but it was also hard to keep up with. I went to the gym with a contoured nose. I wouldn't leave my house without contour, and I did everything under the sun to my nose. I got filler. I got filler twice a year. I got PDO twice a year, and it was just really adding up in costs, and putting stuff into your nose that much, it's just not healthy. And I was never extremely happy with the end result, even after I got all those things. So I knew I had to make a permanent change. So that's why I got plastic surgery on my nose. As for my eyes, again, it's just my preference. It was really weird when I looked down in pictures and I would just see this thick chunk of eyeliner on this eye. As for the breast augmentation, wearing clothes, it was difficult. I mean, I'm 5 foot and I am 26 years old, so there's certain clothes I want to wear that I just couldn't. I didn't feel like a woman. I felt like a little girl because of my high-pitched voice, my height. So yeah, I fit clothes a lot better and I feel a lot more confident, you know, in my own body. So if it makes you happy at the end of the day, it doesn't have to make sense to anyone else. As long as I am happy, it doesn't matter what he, she, whoever thinks, because it's my life and I feel good. But yeah, so definitely I feel a lot more confident in myself because I actually tried to look up pictures to show you before and after of my nose, so you can see the difference. But I was so insecure, I would never take a picture of myself straight on with my camera, my front camera. I was just mortified every time I look at my picture, and that's a really sick way to live. I do accept every part of myself, but it bugged me. So kind of crazy. Now I'm just like taking pictures of myself. Alright guys, that's the end of my Q&A. If you have any other questions, feel free to message me here, leave a comment, message me on Instagram or TikTok, whatever. I hope you guys are taking something away from this video, and yeah, thanks for watching up to this point. I will see you guys soon.